this cash backstage. All right, so thank you very much, Sarah. So you're ready to spin the wheels for your fate. All right, I'm going to hold your mic for you. Just grab the side of the wheel and give it a big spin. Tell me what do you hope it lands on?
I'm kind of hoping for like a pumpkin spice trio.
Yeah, oh, so you want the wild turkey? You want to go for the wild turkey? I mean, it's just bourbon, so...
I mean...
Tequila would be...
Double bourbon?
Okay, spin the wheel. And she certainly can't spin the wheel. All right, we're watching all of the liquor come on. This is going to be your base spirit that we're going to build your cocktail on. We're going to name it. You can't keep this at the bottom of your glass. All right, here we go. Slowing things down. There goes the rum, tequila, gin, vodka. Tequila would make sense, you know, because, turkey's came out next to the original. But okay. Gin! What kind of gin are we got for us? We'll be using Beefeater. It's got an English guy with a glitter cover on it. That's fun. So, how do you feel about gin?
I love gin.
I love gin. She's from Jersey, man. Not even the PATH train. She's saying the bus. Well, wait a second. The PATH train's safe now. It's November. They stopped peeing in it in September. They never stopped peeing in it. All right, excellent. Time to spin that second wheel, Jenna, and decide what your mixer is going to be. Big spin. Excellent. Come back here so we can all see. Now, what are you hoping for? I'm hoping for your Jaegermeister. No, I got to hope for the pumpkin spice.
Actually, I gotta be honest. I'm hoping for Alton's choice.
Oh, I don't think you'll do that. Stuff with the pumpkin spice liqueur. The idea of gin and creme de menthe is fairly special. Yeah. It is NyQuil. That's basically what we're making. We're making our own version of NyQuil. There's one more that can definitely decide your fate. So go ahead and go give that thing a spin. Big spin, Jenna. Give her a hand. Come on. Big spin.
Come on, mouthwash!
She likes medicine. Pumpkin spice, pumpkin bitters, pumpkin spice. Look at them. Get in this, get in this, get in this, get in this. You almost come out with Pixie sticks. Which, by the way, you don't snort. Just... so the cranberry juice. I'm scared to cross the Hudson. They got some good food at home. That's what I want to tell you.
You know, this is a dandy Christmas cocktail.
Sure thing, Jenna. So mix up that bad boy. Come on, Jenna. We're gonna call this the Jenna from now on.
It's the black gloves that really sell it.
We wanted it to match.
So, Jenna, here's where the science comes in. I told you, it was coming. We, human beings, as you know, the experience of taste and flavor is multifaceted. It's not all about your herbs. They gotta come. That, right? Take her home. We eat with many senses. We are predators. We have eyes, binocular vision in front of our heads. Therefore, we eat first with our eyes. We decide whether we want... Why is it so much scarier when you do it? The thing about the shorts, the suspenders, and the double black nitrile gloves that do it for me. I don't mean do it for me.
This is no longer a safe space.
You know, the second you put on the second glove, it stopped being a safe place. So we eat first with our eyes. So the first thing we have to ask is, using your predatory vision, will you allow this to come closer to you as a potential thing you would put in your mouth?
Absolutely.
Here it comes. Now, the next sense that we use to decide if something is safe for there is we use that. Right? We use our nose because our nose has a lot more nerve endings in it and is capable of detecting a great many more aromas than our mouth can flavors, right? So the next thing it's going to do is we're going to let it come close enough for you to give it a smell.
Smells like gin and creme de menthe.
It doesn't scare her. So what you're saying is at this point you would probably go ahead and put that in. I didn't give it to you. You would go ahead and put that in your mouth.
I'd put anything in my mouth.
Absolutely hideous.
I've had worse. I went to art school.
Explains a lot.
We were going to use that. You still have some left over. No. Don't applaud that behavior. No. Nobody's ever actually done that. You confirmed that it was horrible.
That was not good.
You said it's not good, and you said you've had worse. And I'm done. Jenna, what if I told you, and it probably wouldn't matter at this point, that we could add one ingredient and make that drink 50 times better?
You have to have something at this point.
Yes. Well, we have more, right? Refill or Balacha, because... Would you agree to allowing me to add one more ingredient if it really... First off, it wasn't that good. For you to say you had worse, I mean...
I've had worse. It actually wasn't that bad. It was kind of minty and it had a little... It was based... Have you ever made a NyQuil cocktail?
Not since middle school. Where? Oh. Well, how that explains a lot, doesn't it? You guys will drink antifreeze. All right. Would you believe that I could add one thing to that and actually make it taste better?
Yes.
You would. Great. Identify this atom. Come on. What? P means 7 protons, 7 neutrons, 7 electrons.
Which means it's balanced. It's not an isotope.
Okay, so what is it? Don't try to throw me off with words like isotope. She played it, yeah.
I was an art major and now I'm a chef. I got nothing.
Anybody? Nitrogen. That is nitrogen. Number 7 on the periodic table, and you did not know that as a chef and an art student who drinks NyQuil and how proud your parents must be. And your fiancé, who I can only imagine. Is he still here, by the way? Are you serious? You're not sitting together? We are going to use nitrogen to make this cocktail, which was actually horrible, even though you drank the whole thing, okay? But not in this clothing. We're going to have to add some safety gear to you. So Sarah, who's also from Jersey, is going to take you off, and you guys can cross and drink and not come home at all. She's going to get... Oh, this is a lot. Can you make me another martini, Will? Sure. I said, come to Broadway, it'll be fun. So we're going to talk about number 7 on the periodic table, nitrogen. Do I have a chemist here in the house by chance? Anybody? You're a chemist? You're an actual chemist? You're stunning. That's not the same. Do I have an actual chemist? I have a chemist up here. You're a professor of chemistry. Raise your hand again so I'll see you. Excellent. What's your name? Kevin. the actual professor as opposed to the student. All right. So I just want you to kind of keep me on the straight and narrow. If I get any of these facts wrong, you yell at me, okay? You promise, Kevin? All right, excellent, good. So we're talking about nitrogen, number 7, atomic weight of 14.0067, the fifth most abundant element in the known universe. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Good, Kevin, thank you for backing me up. Makes up 78% of the atmosphere we're breathing right now. Right on, just hesitated. I like that. Because it means that you're thinking it through. The air down here is different because of that cocktail. That's good. It's colorless, odorless, flavorless, correct? Great. Used mostly in this country to manufacture both commercial ammonia and fertilizer.
Come on, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Well, give me a couple of other things, big guy.
Every protein you make, amino acids. Come on, man.
You can stay for the rest of the show. Nitrogen is responsible for the colors of the aurora borealis. Did you know that? I knew something you didn't know. That's right. Ionic energy from the sun bouncing off of the nitrogen atmosphere does that. Responsible for the bends. Do I have any scuba divers? Anybody? Oh, I don't trust you. You can't get bacon. You're better? Well, I don't blame you because you're trying to get the hell away from her bacon. Have you ever had the bends? It'd be better than her bacon. But you know what the bends are. Anybody have them? Anybody? Any of the divers here? Horrible. You go down deep. You come up too fast. The nitrogen that is saturated in your blood comes out of solution, kind of like shaking up a Coke and taking off the top. And all the little bubbles lodge in the capillaries of your joints, and you lay there and scream until they put you in a hyperbolic chamber. It's bad. It's bad. But it's nitrogen. Am I right, Kevin? Excellent. Last, the most important to us is that it can be turned into a liquid. Correct?
77 Kelvin, baby.
Now, I realize that a lot of you that are fans of Food Network, or maybe you've watched Top Chef, things like that, you've seen people make ice cream with liquid nitrogen. But we're going to do something very different with it here tonight. And all thanks to this guy. Please gaze upon the handsome Carl Von Lint. Now, Carl Von Lint, the That is so awesome. It's the first night ever he's gotten one. Carl Von Lint invented this device, which, believe it or not, through condensation allows for atmospheric nitrogen to be condensed down into a liquid. It is no small feat and a very complicated machine. What is important to us about liquid nitrogen? What was the Kelvin you said?
77.
77, which translates to, next slide please, this is a liquid that boils at minus 196 degrees centigrade, which is equal to about minus 321 degrees Fahrenheit. Am I right on that?
Absolutely.
Excellent. In other words, this stuff is cray cold. Really, really, really cold. Remember Terminator 2? The Terminator exploded when he was shot because of the liquid nitrogen. Extremely cold. Anybody ever had a wart frozen off? Well, we'll be doing that tonight after the show, right out on the street. Now, I don't want to play all loose with this stuff because as a cryogenic fluid, it's pretty gosh darn dangerous if you let it get out of hand. But if, for instance, I can do this. Oh. Why can I do that, Kevin?
Boiling out of your hand, baby.
I poured it on my hand and it immediately formed a vapor barrier between the liquid and my skin as the liquid boiled away. If I were, however, to do that and make a fist around it very, very tightly, the expanding vapor would give me third-degree burns in about how long, Kevin?
32.8 microseconds.
You're making that up. Split. The only time that I've ever had a problem with this stuff on stage was when I poured it out like this and was standing right up next to the table. So that I got like this band of freeze right here. And that's when we converted the show to Lord of the Dance. I'm not going to let that happen. Now, anybody that has YouTube and an interest in science has seen this before, but I can never get over it. I'm going to pour this amazing liquid that actually boils at minus 321, and I put that into a styrofoam cooler, which is actually just about the safest way to contain it. And Jenna's fiancée, are you here?
Yes.
When's the last time you gave her flowers?
No comment.
Really?
I got her a good ring.
Hi. Just stay there for a second. So everybody's probably seen this demo, but I never get over it. I'm going to shove these roses directly down into the liquid nitrogen. And the cool thing about it is that the liquid inside the rose is going to freeze so quickly that it basically turns into an amorphous solid, which means that it's going to basically turn into glass because the molecules of water, stop me if I'm wrong on this, Kevin, they actually don't have time to line up in the usual crystalline formation of ice. Am I right? Absolutely. Fantastic. Welcome back, Jenna. You look completely safe and sound now. Come over. I want Kevin to check you out because I just want to make sure that everything's kosher. Kevin, since this lady's going to be playing about with cryogenic fluids, I have put her in a waterproof smock. I've given her cryogenic gloves and eye protection. Am I good here?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Come on over, Jenna. So, were you here when I asked about the last time your fiancé had given you flowers?
I was.
And can you confirm? I don't know.
It's been a long time.
Has it been since the engagement?
Oh, since long before.
Since long before. You know that's cubic zirconia, right? No, it's not. Not in Jersey? Okay, doesn't matter. So, I did bring you flowers. Oh, go ahead, take them. It's perfectly safe. But do me a favor, though, just for the audience here, let out your rage at, what's his name? Evan, let out your rage at Evan for not having given you flowers for so long, and just smack the living crap out of those on the table there. Go ahead, just, yeah. Let it
Jenna
out.
Smash!
She scares me. She scares me. Yeah, we'll take the turnpike and go somewhere. Actually, so we see what happens is this stuff basically turns into glass. You have a lot of rage. Gentlemen, from that over. Usually, at this point, I ask the volunteer if they've ever worked in a restaurant, but I think we know the answer to that, Jenna. Jenna, have you ever spent? I don't know if I want to ask you this. Have you ever spent any time in a position that would have lent you the opportunity to see up under a restaurant stainless steel?
As a matter of fact.
Cleaning. When you clean restaurants, you got to get under the tables. You got to clean up everything, right? Of course. Where's that martini? Gotcha. Cheers.
I finished mine.
He's friendly guys who knows the health department.
So, because of the health department, you have to get in, you got to really scrub yourself. Have you ever noticed, now I don't know about the Waldorf, which is, overrated. So, hey. I don't know what the prep tables are like, but we were moving around a bunch of stuff in my test kitchens, which are top notch. I noticed that the bottoms of some of these tables have aluminum, almost like trays bolted to the bottom of it. Do any of yours have a structure like this on the bottom of them?
I mean, they've got spaces. I don't know about trays.
You haven't seen anything like this on the bottom of yours?
Not quite.
Not quite. You're probably drunk by the time you're cleaning. So, yeah, I understand that things at the Waldorf are different. Really good tables, stainless steel tables, have these aluminum structures under them, and it bothered me. It's like I don't understand why they're there. So I called up the company that manufactures these tables. I'm like, why do you guys have aluminum on the bottom of your stainless steel tables? And it turns out that the reason all has to do with thermoconductivity. It has to do with the fact that, like a stainless steel table, stainless steel is a good or bad conductor of heat. No, it actually sucks. Am I being too strong? Stainless steel is actually not a very good conductor of electricity, of heat. Copper is, and aluminum is. So, like, if you have a cheap restaurant prep table and you come over with, like, you guys have been making demi-glace all day, or you've been making stock all day, you set down a pot, the heat can't escape quickly enough, it can't move away quickly enough, and the table will warp. It'll actually pop and warp over like that because the heat expansion can't get away. So these companies put aluminum on the bottom of the tables to provide, one, structural support, and two, to act as a heat sink so that the heat can move easily out of the table. But it's not food grade per se. So I'm sitting there thinking about this, and I'm like, well, if aluminum is such a good conductor of heat, which it
Is.
Yes. Good. Then I ought to be able to suck all the heat out of this table, shouldn't I? And since this is like a trench, I should simply be able to take liquid nitrogen and fill this thing up. And the liquid nitrogen, as it boils, should suck all the heat out of the table. Kind of like Winter did with the flagpole at a Christmas store. You remember when a kid got his tongue sucked? Can I get some more liquid nitrogen, please? Don't worry, you're okay. Come close. It's not going to hurt you. You've got all this stuff on.
I thought you were going to make me look a flag.
No, I'm not going to. She already flat out said it was pretty much nothing she wouldn't. Did I hear that wrong? All right, so I'm going to fill up both of these trenches with liquid nitrogen. Now, have you ever worked with this stuff in the kitchen? Have you ever like made ice cream with it? Because that's very popular these days.
I've seen it worked with, but I have not myself had the opportunity.
Well, that's because at the Waldorf, they're probably not going to let you do that. It would frighten the old people. And that's going to be but I'm not interested in the liquid nitrogen per se. I'm interested only in sucking all of the heat out of this table. Well, this stuff is boiling at minus 321 below zero. It is actually pulling all of the heat out of this metal. There is no such thing as cold, madam. Only heat and the absence thereof. You already knew that.
I learned it from you.
Well. Jenna, what is this?
Spatula?
Actually, it's used to scrape ice off of a car windshield, which, when we use in the South, we call the apocalypse. Nobody ever actually needs that. So do me a favor, take that and just kind of move that nitrogen. This is an old theater, so that the stage isn't completely level. And I've got another one of those. Excellent. I'm not going to put on my cryo gloves because I'm a risk taker. And I do have kind of, no worries. So all we're going to do is going to let this boil, and we're going to let it pull the heat out of the table. So the whole table is going to drop down to minus 320 below zero. In the meantime, Will, you're having fun playing with it, aren't you? Will has taken your cocktail, which to anyone else in this room would have been a hideous concoction, except to you, and apparently a couple other people with path passes. I don't know. Have you ever used one of these? This is a garden sprayer. Have you ever sprayed, like weeds and stuff? Okay, take one of these. That has got your cocktail in it. Now, as the heat is all pulled out of this table, what we're going to do is we're going to spray your hideous cocktail that you still drink as though it were nothing. We're going to spray it onto the metal, thus turning it into tiny, tiny ice crystals, which is going to enhance, 1, its color, 2, its aroma by suppressing the nasty medicinal aromas that you seem to actually like for some reason, and also make it a lot more palatable. So, start spraying just like this. Just pull the trigger. It's pre-pumped and ready to go. Again, I'm not interested in the nitrogen itself, only the cold that it has produced by sucking all of the heat out of this table. Now, this is not a demonstration that, well, you can do it at home if you want to. Perfectly fine by me. I can still smell it, Will. I'm not supposed to be able to do that. But this mixture, which we've never had before, is especially noxious. That's the special. In other words, you put like half a gallon of bitters in there? Is that what you're telling me? Do I have a clean glass that I can use? Sorry, it's Broadway, so we have to use plastic. It's all right. It's perfectly fine. Now, notice. Just set that down there, because I don't want you to give it to me. That's fine, too. Now, notice that, come closer, Trevor, because this is kind of interesting. Down here, where there was still actually some of the nitrogen, the flakes had just kind of piled up. Now, I've never actually seen that kind of flake business before. Your cocktail is unique. It's flaky. You got flaky. It's like honeycomb. It does. Except, you won't put your tongue on it. So, all right. So, start scraping. We're going to scrape from one end to the other end. And because I guess my sprayer was a little funner. Actually, are you seeing this, Trevor? This is fascinating. We've never ever had a cocktail come out, come out kind of like potato chips almost. Just straight. Now you sprayed yours thicker, so it's coming off, it looks more, what color was that, mauve? And because mine, look at the difference. I sprayed mine super thin, so it's coming out kind of brown, gray, and yours is like all rosy. Same cocktail,
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Same cocktail, only sprayed at a different velocity. So you're actually gonna have like a two-tone drink. Oh look, mine's kind of green now. Ooh,
That's
yeah.
like an ice cream thing now.
It does look like ice cream, except that it would eat your tongue directly out of your head. So that's how cool it is. So I'm gonna scrape this down, and I'm gonna put mine on the bottom of the glass. Boom. That kind of looks like Slimer from the first Ghostbusters. All right, now trust me, you got plenty. Don't worry about getting that. Go ahead and scoop that up and place on top of Slimer. Great. Two-tone. Awesome. That looks real. Okay. Let's get that out of here. So, all right, now it's science time. Nothing tells the truth quite like flavor. So, come on out. Now, go ahead and take that. And
Now I can't put it down.
Wait, you couldn't put it down. So, lick it.
This?
No, stop, don't. I don't want you to do that. Because I've got a feeling that it's still, what's so funny about it? I'm trying to care for her safety. Okay, yeah, that's still minus 20 degrees. Todd, can we hit that with a heat gun just for a second? Just warm it up a little bit so it doesn't. Babe, say the extension cords are short on the way. I thought that was actually good. All right, hold on. All right, she's from Jersey, that's fine. It's still, it's the answer. So just give that a little lick. Yeah.
Will you be joining me?
Hell no. Dare me? You first. You're drinking it. I said lick it. And?
Wow, that is really cold. It's like burning my tongue.
Is it? Stick out your tongue. How's it taste?
I've dreamed of this moment my entire life.
How does it taste?
It tastes significantly more minty and menthol than before.
Better. Could anything make it better?
Probably not.
You're wrong.